It is.
I love it. And I got to get your prediction really quick on the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight.
Boxing. I'm team boxing, man. Gervonta Davis, of course.
Gervonta Davis?
Of course.
And who would you say is the #1 pound for pound right now in boxing?
Usyk.
Great fight, great matchup. It's fun for the sport of boxing. It makes it fun. It makes it entertaining. That's what it's all about. You know, and may the best man win. It's an exhibition regardless. It doesn't count.
The weeds for this? You part of this movement that's going on right now. Well, I got in the ring with a top pound for pound fighter in the world. We got going over there contribute to help this dude.
The guy must be around 150 right now, 153, something like that. And you can really tell when he's sideways. When you look at him sideways and see the depth.
Alexander Usyk sent a harsh message to Jake Paul about his upcoming fight with Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Usyk said with Tank's size, sharpness, and skill, there's only one outcome: Jake losing. After Jake shared his 5-year plan to become a world champion and eventually face Usyk, the heavyweight champ clapped back online, saying, "Good plan, Jake, but I don't aim for 5th place, only 1st. I'll finish my boxing career soon, and then I'll be waiting for you in the cage." Usyk added that Jake won't even get past a smaller, real fighter like Tank, predicting an easy win for Davis. Usyk made it clear he doesn't see Jake Paul as a serious boxer. By mocking Jake's goals, he reminded everyone that real fighters care about legacy, not social media fame. Without even mentioning Gervonta Davis, Usyk's message was obvious. Tank already looks stronger than ever, with recent training videos showing a bigger upper body, more powerful legs, and the same explosive movement that defines his style.
In some things, I think Gervonta's just gonna stick and move. He'll be fast, play it smart, I don't see him staying still for too long so Jake can land some shots. He'll just try to touch him. Who knows, man? It's an exhibition. It's a money grab.
The change in Tank is clear. He's gaining muscle without losing his edge. That's why many pros are taking notice, and fans agree he's making the right moves. Tank's adjusting to Jake's size, refining his strategy, and looking like a fighter on a mission to prove a point.
Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis. That's the state of boxing.
Yeah, that's
right
crazy.
Let that sink in.
Jake
that's
Paul,
right
Gervonta Davis is so crazy. 135 versus 200. That is so nuts.
They're all exhibitions.
None of them are.
They're exhibitions.
Tank has recently spoken about his mindset, saying he's in a much better place now than before, and that's what matters most to him. He's avoiding trash talk and focusing on proving this is a real fight. With his improved size, strength, and movement, Tank said he just needs to adjust his approach, adding, "It's going to be a great event. Every time I fight, it's fireworks." On the other hand, Jake Paul has finally shown a bit of honesty about what's ahead.
Jake went for the jugular. Jake comes back and says, anybody that puts his hands on a woman is a scumbag, and that's you. Tank responds. In the world of responses, it was as bad as it gets. In defense of himself, he makes a comparison to P. Diddy. Jake literally just puts his head down. It's like, man. And I think that Jake was thinking in the...
Jake told TMZ, "People talk a lot about size, but they forget Tank is a top 10 pound-for-pound fighter. He's got power in both hands and years of skill and technique." Jake went on to admit, "Honestly, I'm the most scared I've ever been before a fight." It's rare to hear a fighter say that, especially from someone like Jake Paul, who's built his whole image on confidence and shaking things up.
Prepare for a guy that's different stature-wise.
Yeah, no, we have world champions. Raymond Ford in the 130-pound weight class. We got Montana Lovin. Shakur Stevenson is coming in this week. So just sparring against guys on their level and people who have, been doing.
Even if Jake's fear seems like part of the promotion, Shannon Briggs has hinted at the same thing. Briggs, who trained Jake early in his career while he was still learning fundamentals like footwork, balance, and the jab, said, "It's great for boxing. I knew early on Jake would make noise in this sport." But his excitement shifted when he spoke about Tank. Having shared the ring with real punchers, Briggs understands what speed and timing condoned Tank has both. When your former coach talks more about the event's excitement than your odds of winning, that says a lot.
Right, I think that fight there, because of Tank's skill level, it's like it makes it fair, even though he's not. The weight difference is crazy. Really and truly, bro, Jake Paul should not land a punch on Tank. This guy's one of the greatest.
Tony Bellew didn't hold back, saying if Tank lands a clean shot, Jake Paul is going to sleep. Bellew knows real knockout power. He's both given and taken it in the ring. His view is straightforward. Jake may have the size advantage, but Tank's accuracy and explosiveness make that mean nothing.
He's a marketing genius, but when it comes to people that picking his fights, I can't get my head around it. If Tank hits him clean, he's going to sleep. He'll have a lot of smoke blowing up his backside by his coaching team and people like that, but when he gets hit for real, 10 ounce, well, I'm told it's 16 ounce gloves now, it's like an exhibition. Right. I'm told it's big gloves and head guards, he's gonna need them.
Tank has faced and beaten opponents much bigger than himself, using elite timing and precise punch selection to break them down. Bellew emphasized the obvious: Jake has never faced a fighter like Tank. With Tank's genuine power, Bellew warned that if Jake gets caught clean with 8-ounce gloves, he's going out cold. It's a harsh technical reality. No one can block that kind of snap forever, and one wrong move could end it all. Carl Froch believes this fight could be dangerous because of how unpredictable it is. He doesn't see it as entertainment but as a possible safety concern. Froch warned that regardless of weight, Tank's explosiveness is a real threat, and Jake's habit of keeping his chin up could cost him. Veteran fighter Gabe Rosado echoed that view, saying Tank isn't just about power, he's a master of setups and timing.
Look at this face-off, Henry. What are your thoughts here?
You're hearing that shit from me. That's cringe. In some weird way, I kind of like
cringe about it.
He's trying to big man the smaller guy, who the smaller guy to me is dangerous. I think Tank Davis is going to put the hands on him, but I like it, bro. I will say something about Jake Paul. He's brought a lot of attention.
Rosado explained that Tank knows exactly how to draw opponents into his range and never wastes punches. That's what separates him from Jake Paul, who depends on rhythm and straight shots. Tank disrupts that rhythm, steps in, forces a reaction, and strikes before his opponent even sees it coming. It's the same approach that's helped him drop world-class fighters for years.
Talking about fighting Joshua, which is heavyweight, and now he's saying about fighting Tank. Nah, this can't be. It's Netflix as well. I need to go and do some checks and see if like the main pages have posted this, but Jake Paul's posted it. It says Friday, November 14th. It's in Atlanta.
What makes this matchup intense is Tank's mental shift. The usual distractions around him seem gone, and his focus looks sharper than it's been in years. He's locked in, serious, and clearly driven to prove something not to fans or critics, but to himself. Jake, on the other hand, is still caught between being a showman and a fighter. His body transformation is impressive, with more strength and cleaner combinations, but there's still a big gap between practice and instinct. Tank has lived and breathed that rhythm his entire life.
10 3-minute rounds. I said it was 190. The fight is 195 pounds, Tank, as you know. Over 10 3-minute rounds, and when Tank and Jake enter the squared circle to go to battle, they will be wearing 12-ounce gloves. 3 commission-approved, world-class professional judges will score.
Shakur Stevenson didn't sugarcoat his answer when asked if Jake Paul had any real chance against Gervonta Davis. He simply said no. When asked again, he repeated it just as firm. Then he explained that while Jake's size might have some impact, Tank's fight IQ and experience would make the difference. If I'm Tank, I just outbox him and use my knowledge, Shakur said. I can see Tank outboxing him and making it look easy.
Realistic shot where he could land one big punch, and Tank being so much smaller, he just can't handle the power?
Nah, not at all. I think Tank is, he's been boxing his whole life. Been boxing since a kid, so I doubt like that's going to be an issue or problem. I think Jake is good for where he's at, but I think it's just levels.
Do you see a more likely chance that Tank wins by decision?
Shakur went on to explain that this matchup isn't officially sanctioned, which means betting on it isn't allowed. He pointed out that when a fight is labeled an exhibition, the gambling side is removed because it can't legally be wagered on if it might be staged. That's why the Tyson fight had to be turned into a real bout people wanted to bet. Shakur called the whole situation strange, unpredictable, and more like a circus, suggesting this fight might end up being a show rather than a genuine competition.
When you go get an actual real boxer, for real boxer, who is a knockout artist, who is still in his prime, and now you put him in this exhibition, this just shows me right now that the sport is officially gone, and the only hope we have is September 13th, Canelo and Bud Crawford.
When you take a real boxer, a knockout artist still in his prime, and put him in an exhibition, it shows how far the sport has drifted. The only real hope left, some say, is Canelo versus Bud Crawford on September 13th. Still, if this fight turns out to be real and not just light sparring, Tank could have a chance depending on glove size. Paulie Malignaggi noted that Jake is about 100 pounds heavier, which is a huge gap. With small gloves, Tank could hurt Jake if he lands clean, but that same setup also means Jake's power could seriously hurt Tank. The size difference has dominated the conversation, with fans stunned that Tank agreed to fight near 190 to 195 pounds when he spent his entire career at 135. No fighter that small has ever gone into cruiserweight range against a full-sized opponent like this.
Mixed boxing. I just hope we get the Shakur fight before that moment. So for me, that Tank fight, I mean, as I understand it, Tank's fighting Jake Paul, which is the most bizarre thing ever, but I'm sure it'll do massive numbers. And I don't know what'll happen with the Lamont Roach fight, but I just hope that...
Malignaggi's comment about the gloves wasn't random. The official glove size is now set at 12 ounces, slightly larger than standard pro gloves. That means less damage with each punch but more padding for both fighters. It's good news for Gervonta since it offers extra protection against Jake's heavier shots, though it also reduces the amount of power he can generate from his smaller frame.
And you know what, PBC has to be called out in this too. They have one of the biggest stars in boxing, and they're putting him in this farcical fight. And they are struggling for survival, PBC. I mean, they are just falling apart. You know, the Pacquiao fight did terrible, terribly promoted. Pacquiao was hardly available. I mean, it was just that they were too cheap to hire Pacquiao.
Jake doesn't seem concerned about the technical details and has been promoting the fight in his usual style. On the Double Coverage podcast, he revealed there's a huge knockout bonus for whoever finishes the other. He didn't share the exact amount but called it big money, adding that if someone gets knocked out or even stopped by TKO, the winner still gets the bonus check.
In exhibition bout, it will not count towards their professional careers. The age is close. Jake Paul is 28, Gervonta Davis is 30, but the weight difference is massive. Paul has fought around 200 to 227 pounds. Davis dominant at just 135 pounds. Many expected Davis to fight Lamont Roach Jr. again, but instead he chose Jake Paul, a fight many say is more about money than legacy. Critics suggest
both fighters have made it clear they're aiming to finish the fight early. Jake said, "This isn't going to be one of those Floyd Logan things where nobody wins. Somebody's going to sleep." Even though the bout is officially an exhibition due to the weight gap, he insists it doesn't change the danger. It's only an exhibition because he's like 70 pounds lighter, Jake explained. But once we're in there, it's real. The punches are real, the knockouts real. He also kept up his usual mind games, claiming Tank is mentally weak under pressure. When things don't go his way, he starts to fall apart, Jake said. And this time, things won't go his way. Whatever he's expecting, he's underestimating me.
Exhibition bout, it will not count towards their professional careers. The age is close. Jake Paul is 28, Gervonta Davis is 30, but the weight difference is massive. Paul has fought around 200 to 227 pounds. Davis dominant at just 135 pounds. Many expected Davis to fight Lamont Roach Jr. again, but instead he chose Jake Paul, a fight many say is more about money than legacy. Critics suggest
that comment echoed what many have said about Gervonta's composure under pressure. He's known for staying patient, taking time to adjust, and waiting for the perfect counter shot. But against a bigger, more aggressive opponent, that approach could be risky. Jake plans to use his size and high volume to push Tank into mistakes early. For him, this fight is all about using power and pressure to take control.
An exhibition bout, it will not count towards their professional careers. The age is close. Jake Paul is 28, Gervonta Davis is 30, but the weight difference is massive. Paul has fought around 200 to 227 pounds. Davis dominated at just 135 pounds. Many expected Davis to fight Lamont Roach Jr. again, but instead he chose Jake Paul, a fight many say is more about money than legacy. Critics suggest
Jake already earned Mike Tyson's respect for his punching power, and now he wants to prove he can stand toe-to-toe with a top-level fighter like Tank, even in an exhibition. The irony is that while both call it just business, their actions show they're treating it like a statement fight.
Jake wins.
Jake's just so big, dude.
I think Jake wins.
This is different because it's similar. It's similar to Logan versus Mayweather, but Jake Paul now obviously is way more advanced than where Logan was at that moment in time.
Yeah. No, but dude,
Did you ever watch his highlights?
Jake can crack.
Davis wants to prove that boxing is still about skill over size and that real technique still wins fights. Jake, meanwhile, wants to show he's moved past being just a YouTuber and can compete with true world champions, even smaller ones. Neither fighter wants to leave Miami looking embarrassed, and that's exactly what makes this matchup so risky.
The latter. But instead of giving us the rematch with Roach, he's going to fight Jake Paul. Now, this is where you have a chance to stand up as fans. Don't pay for it. Don't watch it. But we know that you're going.
Shakur Stevenson hasn't minced words. He believes Jake Paul has absolutely no chance. The lightweight champion said it flat out, zero chance. In his view, Gervonta Davis's skill, timing, and ring IQ completely cancel out any advantage Jake's size might offer. Stevenson doesn't think Tank needs to get aggressive or hunt for a knockout. He just needs to fight smart. Size will play some part, he said, but Tank can just outbox him. I don't see him knocking Jake out. It's a calm, confident take from someone who knows that power only matters if it lands. Stevenson sees a controlled fight where Tank stays patient, picks his shots, and wins comfortably on points.
Why?
I mean, I get it, because at the end of the day, it's the money business, and you want to make the most money, but from what I'm hearing, he can make more money in a fight with me, and if that's the case, why not fight me?
Sure. Do you think he beats Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah. I mean,
There's a huge size advantage, though.
it is, but I think Tank got the skill.
Sean Porter sees it differently. The two-time world champion believes Tank's power is simply too real for size to make any difference. I'm betting on Tank by knockout, he said, laughing at the idea that Davis's smaller frame could be a problem. Porter's convinced the fight won't last long if Tank lands clean, describing his power as deceptive. It doesn't look heavy until the opponent's on the canvas. It's the same kind of shot that ended Ryan Garcia and Rolando Romero in dramatic fashion. His reasoning is straightforward. Jake may be bigger, but he's still inexperienced on defense, and Tank has been catching world-class fighters for years. Porter thinks one counter left hand could finish it.
Gervonta Davis, I know on Instagram you call it a circus.
Yeah, this is boxing is slowly turning into the WWE. That's what I think.
Does Tank Davis have a chance?
Yes, but
yeah?
I don't even want to talk about it. Don't ask me questions like that again.
Terrence Crawford offered a different view, saying experience has taught him to respect size and power. Jake's just too big for Tank, he said in an interview. If they really start trading, all it takes is one clean shot from Jake and it could be over.
Why?
I mean, I get it, because at the end of the day, it's the money business, and you want to make the most money, but from what I'm hearing, he can make more money in a fight with me, and if that's the case, why not fight me?
Sure. Do you think he beats Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah. I mean,
There's a huge size advantage, though.
it is, but I think Tank got the skill.
Coming from Crawford, a fighter who's moved up through several weight classes himself, that opinion carries weight. He understands how much of a difference even 10 pounds can make, let alone 50. Crawford isn't questioning Tank's skill or heart, he's highlighting the reality of size and physics. When a lightweight goes up against a cruiserweight, it's not just about power but also punch resistance, leverage, and how much damage each can absorb. In his view, if Jake lands clean, that alone could be enough to end it.
And is, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's 2 pounds away from
When it comes to equipment, that's where Coach Calvin Ford takes a stand. My only concern is the gloves, he said. We don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. Those are training gloves. Ford believes heavier gloves would slow Tank down and take away his power, two of his biggest strengths. He wants the setup to feel like a real fight, suggesting, put Tank in 8s and Jake in 10s. That makes it more interesting and we'll go from there.
Wins, you know, and it's not with power, it's not with a beautiful technique, it's just with will. It's with heart. With heart. Right. So, you know, what's going to prevail, heart or punching power? You know, it's
But according to Ford, Jake's team isn't agreeing to it. I mentioned it to one of his people and they said, no, we're not doing mix and match, it's an exhibition, he recalled. For Ford, that word doesn't sit right. He can wear the 10s, we'll wear the 8s, then we've got a fight, he said firmly. Ford's message is clear. If Jake Paul truly wants to face Gervonta Davis, make it real, no oversized gloves, no softened impact, just a real fight between two fighters doing what they do best. What's your take? Share your thoughts below and stay tuned for more updates.